Evelyn, me and the boyfriend.
You gotta see Mama every night or you can't see Mama at all.
Tunes like that make me think of a certain cheerleader back in Montclair High. I can't recollect his name.
Joe Scales. Some sheep, hey?
Flaming Youth had really caught fire, except at our house.
Well, at our house there was Dad.
And he acted as though our generation was riding straight for the devil.
Well, in a stripped-down Model T, suitably inscribed with "Chicken, here's your roost," 4 wheels, no brakes, the tin you love to touch.
Those old jalopies were just as good as our own.
Remember riding with Dad in the Pierce Arrow? Somebody would call, "I see 12 kids!" And Dad mellowed back, "These aren't much, you ought to see the ones I left at home." Once someone shouted, "Hey, what are you doing in that old ark?" And Dad shouted back, "I'm out collecting animals like the good Lord told me. All I need now is a jackass. Hop in."
It was so embarrassing when we'd come up to a toll booth and he would play his favorite game. He would guess the nationality of the collector, and then, "Hey, do my Irishmen come cheaper by the dozen?"
"Ooh, Irishman, what is it?" "Sure, and it wasn't meant for a family like that to pay toll."
Sometimes it was a Dutch collector.
What'd you find? Lots of healthy Dutchmen. Drive through on the house.
Even while we were driving, Dad couldn't stop teaching. I mean, if we passed a factory, he would tell us how they used the plumb line to get the chimney straight.
Well, it was because he wanted us to get ahead with things. All the extra work and the projects and the committees. Were you terrible as head of the purchasing committee?
The purchasing committee got wholesale rates on underwear to baseballs, and not to mention the savings we got when we ordered direct by the truckload for canned food.
And what about the 96 jars of peanut butter?
Well, everybody likes lots of peanut butter.
Not me. Not anymore.
Committees were a great idea. They eliminated waste motions, and they made things easier for Mother.
You didn't talk that way back then. Back then, all you girls were thinking about were boys and dates.
Back then, a boy hardly ever called our house. That little cheerleader did everything but nail a quarantine sign on our door.
I still remember Ann burning up. "I'm living through what can only be described as hell on earth."
And Dad chose that particular time to set up the efficiency program.
Well, he didn't exactly pick that time.
I didn't mean...
Sure. None of us knew. Sometimes it just seemed like he was being extra impatient.
Like the time he got that lady psychiatrist to come give us those examinations?
We didn't know about those exams. We didn't know they might mean Anne could graduate ahead of her class.
Dad's master plan. He was so anxious for Anne to graduate, so she could be free to help with Mother.
Didn't Anne go to the movies with some boy that afternoon?
Well, she didn't know how important the exams were. She didn't know that Dad had been talking to the school board about graduating her early.
But she missed dinner completely. And most of the tests. Dad was wild.
He was checking his watch every 3 minutes. If it hadn't been for that lady psychiatrist, he would have been roaring like a lion.
You and I had finished early. And so did some of the others. I guess they'd gone upstairs.
Frank, that music.
Lesson 1.
It isn't coming from down the street. That's coming from upstairs. That's one of our patrollers.
The one in the girls' bathroom.
The boys!
Of all the dumb.
Dad's bad enough as it is.
Yeah, boiling. You better go switch them off.
Poor Dad.
Quiet!
Singular.
Shut off that noise! I said quiet! You two! Who is playing those?
I don't know.
And didn't come in?
Z.
The boys?
Z.
That's the girls.
There's no use trying to get around me now.
Here.
All right! Shut those off and come down here! Turn them off!
Z.
That psychology teacher is going to think that I told them to turn on those records. She'll think I'm trying to impress her.
Well, aren't you?
How'd you do in our trick examinations?
Practically perfect.
Me too.
It didn't take you very long to finish. You and whoever turned on those records. to improve your minds as you do memorizing those stupid songs, you could recite the Quran forwards and backwards. But no. Let's have some more jazz. Line up the Victrola and play more jazz. Let's have that song about I love my sweetie forever and a day.
Hey, you made that up. That's not one of our records.
Oh well, maybe not, but take it from me, that's well above average.
We bought those jazz records with our own money, Aunt Ern and me. And who wants to cite the Quran backwards anyways?
Look at the report cards that you brought in this afternoon.
What's so wrong with the B average?
Last year, you made straight A's.
Well, last year I skipped a grade. It takes a while to catch back up.
Just the same, these afternoons at the drugstore with boys, listening to jazz, drinking sodas, I have told you that it wouldn't improve your marks, and this just proves that I was right.
We hardly spend any time with boys.
Ha!
We don't have what some people would call a normal social life. Some people have dates on school nights.
It's practically night now, and a school night. And where is your sister?
We told you 10 times.
She went to a movie with a
All
boy.
afternoon, she missed dinner. She's missing the examination. She knows that she should be home.
Well, Bill went with her.
She followed your rule. A brother on every date.
She's making him miss the examination too. Why couldn't Anne have just brought this boy home instead of running off like that?
Why?
Yes, why?
Because of the way you scared off Joe Scales. You've got every boy afraid to come here. Even that friend of mine.
The one with the motorcycle? The one who keeps buzzing the house with that noise contraption at all hours?
He's trying to work up the nerve to come in.
What is he afraid of?
You!
Me? No, well, why should any boy be afraid of me?
I think it's Mac.
Run out there and tell him your father's leaving soon for the management conference in Europe. Tell him he won't have to work on his nerve much longer.
Sure he will.
He's going. He's going on.
Joe Scales' car is much louder.
I hear motorcycle Mac.
No. He's still working on his nerve.
Is Anne back yet?
No, and for all I know, she eloped.
She went to a movie.
Mrs. Gilbert, I'm not getting any help in the kitchen.
With all these examinations, things are upset.
Up to it.
Martin Ern better see to the babies.
But I'm not supposed to wash dishes.
How about Dan and Jackie? And Lillian?
They're still finishing the exam.
I know why her take was so long.
I thought they were screamed dinner.
Who?
With the woman examiner.
Miss Brill.
She came in late and was trying to catch up. Jackie tried to be so helpful, and he told her, no need to gobble your grapefruit like a pig. If you finish ahead of you, we'll wait till you're through.
You get a bad impression.
And Lillian,
She thinks family rules apply to guests.
I can't pass your dessert until you finish your lima beans.
I guess it didn't help too when Jackie asked if what Miss Brill was saying was of general interest.
As a matter of fact, I don't think they like Miss Brill. And I don't either. I don't think she's being fair.
To all the fine teachers here, we had to get that one.
She asks all sorts of slanted questions, and I don't think she's marking the papers fairly.
She is blocking my most important plan.
Plan? I thought this was one of the school's research projects.
That too.
Does this have anything to do with all your trips to the school?
With Anne's record being the way it is, it's ridiculous for her to have to mark time with her classes. There's no reason why they shouldn't graduate her at the end of this semester.
That's going awfully fast. She just skipped a grade last year.
But once she graduates, she won't have to worry about school for a while. And with me away, you could use the help.
But Anne doesn't know that this test will have any bearing on when she graduates.
I made an agreement with the superintendent. He's writing a paper on the effects of home education, and naturally he came to the right place for that.
Naturally.
I said that he could have his Miss Brill snoop around here all she wants, but in return he's got something for me.
He's going to give Anne her diploma?
If her mark is good enough, and by jingo, it had better be. What is wrong with that girl?
I presume you're talking about your daughter, Anne.
There isn't a thing the matter with any of our children.
You'll find that out when you grade Anne's paper.
And when will that be?
Don't worry, she'll be here. She's the youngest girl in her class and always makes A's.
Well, where did she go?
She went to a movie.
These tests are a little more important. They're for the superintendent.
I know who they're for, and they're important to me too.
Look, the superintendent directed me to come here and to give these tests. That doesn't mean I approve of anyone graduating ahead of her class. And if she doesn't show up, that's perfectly all right with me.
She'll be here any minute.
Well, what have you learned so far about the others?
The results are inconclusive.
What is inconclusive about them? Did you ever mark a better set of papers?
I have to interpret the results.
Interpret. Here's something to interpret.
What was that?
You'll see.
That's my apron!
10 seconds.
Whoa.
No, doesn't count. Anne and your brother Bill aren't here. Frank, what's 46 times 46?
2116.
Then 19 times 17.
323.
Martha, 52 times 52.
2704.
Good girl.
You've coached them.
I taught them. Did you know the capital of Colombia? Do you know the population of Des Moines according to the last census? Yes, of course, you do, but so does Dan here, so does Lillian, and so does baby Jane upstairs, and I will bring her down when it's time for her bottle.
Now you're just being ridiculous.
Well, what is 16 times 16?
Well, I
256.
There. 17 times 17?
289.
Good, Jackie boy. Oh, so we're going to have to keep that boy.
Are there any questions that you would like to ask?
To help you interpret?
I have all I need on these proper examinations.
No questions. Dismissed! Run along now! Have along with things.
Tell Miss Fitzgerald to keep some dinner warm.
Sure.
Now, there's no harm in home studies, but you shouldn't try to do so much with them.
Why not?
If everyone went for regular education, there'd be no system left. There'd be chaos.
Perhaps you had better mark the papers and see how much chaos you find.
You can use the dining room table.
Thank you.
And if you don't mind, I'll look over your shoulder.
I do mind.
Miss Brill,
The old goat.
go up and lie down for a little while. Dr. Burton says you should lie down for a while after eating dinner.
He's an old goat too.
A little rest won't hurt you.
All right.
Get him out of here!
Did you ever learn why always Dad's bed? Why don't my bed or Dan's bed or Frank's bed? Why always Dad's bed? I guess he's just attracted to dogs.
Come in. Just my house.
I'm starved!
Go eat.
Don't worry, and don't think I didn't notice.
Notice what?
You remember that silly part in the movie? That part all about love? I saw you two hold hands.
That's a lie.
Hey, if anything like that happened for maybe 10 seconds, it was just because of the movie and completely involuntary.
It was.
Yeah, just that kind of movie.
Oh.
See?
Having you tag along is simply unendurable.
I suppose you think it's durable for me? I'm starving to death.
Kid brothers.
In case you haven't noticed, I have 6 of them. 6 berserk kid brothers.
Yeah, I already know.
Thank heavens.
Say, I bet you're getting hungry.
Hungry.
Well, made you miss dinner.
I miss dinner all the time. I hate dinner, in fact. If there's one thing I don't mind if I miss, it's dinner.
Well, I don't seem to be very hungry either.
You're not.
Well, of course, I ate an awful lot of popcorn.
And gumdrops.
Of course, that's never interfered with my appetite before. Say, Anne, would you like to go to a dance?
I mean, I could probably fit it in, depending on when the dance is.
Tonight, a bunch of the seniors.
Just so happens, tonight I'm free.
Swell. Well, I'll change me back for you in half an hour. I'm glad your dad isn't old-fashioned about letting you out on school nights.
School night, wait, Larry. There's someone I have to check with first.
Some other boy?
He's Mel.
Yeah, I didn't think you were the kind of girl that stalls a fellow while she sees that you can get a better date.
I'm not. It's not that at all, really. I'd love to go with you, But there's a short examination I have to get through with first.
Honestly?
Honestly, I'd rather go with you than with anyone.
Well, that's different.
At it again. The minute my back is turned.
You don't have to sneak up on people. You might cough or something.
Start coughing with a mouthful of peanut butter. How do you know that we're back?
Bill, Mother said not to worry Dad with unimportant worries.
Who said I was going to worry him?
I hope he doesn't get your father mad.
He won't. You better not.
Yeah, I heard about your father.
A lot of people hear about Dad and his work.
Well, it wasn't exactly about his work.
The way he eliminates switch motion and things like that. What did you hear?
To tell the truth, I was almost afraid to come here.
No.
Yeah, I didn't know whether to ask you out on a date or not.
You haven't been listening to that cheerleader, that Joe Scales.
How'd you know?
Really, the things that boy says about my father, why he'd say anything. You'd think my father was some kind of monster, when actually,
Yes.
he's kind and agreeable and witty. Has one of the sweetest tempers.
So she's back, is she?
Those stories just absurd.
Well, I'm glad to hear
What
it.
took her so long?
Dad must be calling someone at the back of the house. When Dad calls to the back of the house, you hear him at the front of the house.
I guess you can.
No reason why he shouldn't come
You
here.
mean to tell me that boy's down there right now?
Frank, be quiet!
I won't be quiet!
I guess I better get going.
I suppose you had.
I guess I better.
About the dance. I don't mean, I suppose.
Yes.
What I'm trying to say is, will you be coming back?
I-J-I-N-G-O!
Will you?
Well, I asked you for the dance, didn't I? Well, be seeing you.
Look at her.
I told you if I started dressing like other girls, everything would be alright and I'd be popular.
Popular? Missing dinner, dodging tests, and by jingo, you've started painting yourself too.
I
I
haven't.
can see the paint. Perfume? You started wearing perfume?
Frank, she hasn't even had her dinner yet.
She started it! Perfume!
Just one dab. And why not? It isn't paint or makeup anything, and it smells so good.
Why not? Why? Because it stinks of good, fresh air. That's why not. You're gonna go wash it off right now.
Oh, Dad.
Don't you know what a man thinks when he smells perfume on a woman?
I only know what one man thinks. He thinks I should wash it off.
Thinks nothing. And you go in there and you take that examination.
She is going to eat her dinner first.
Me too.
I don't want to eat something. I want to get the exam over with first. I have something to do later.
Oh, something probably to do with that boy?
Why do I need a brother tagging along when I go to the movies with someone? It's intolerable, really. I don't know why anyone bothers with me.
I do know. Even if you don't. And that's why a brother goes along.
Suppose there was this dance. A really important dance that just so happens to fall on a school night.
Now. We can think of that when the time comes.
Mother, Dad.
No. Out all this time, perfume, painting your face,
It's awful.
You go home to the dining room and report to Miss Brill.
Anne?
Frank.
All right, you handle it. Perfume, movies, painting. Thank heaven my other daughters are a little more sensible, not quite so silly.
On his motorcycle back! Maybe this time to stop! What's going on?
Hi, Anne. Where are you? Mother, I did put on one dab of perfume. I didn't use any makeup at all. See,
I'll explain to Dad later.
it's just color.
Well, your color is very good tonight.
There's a reason. I'd like to get going on the exam.
Who'd you go with? That fullback?
Larry, Mother had a wonderful evening.
You shouldn't have stayed so long. We worry, especially your father.
Why does Dad care so much? I mean, what if I do waste one afternoon?
He just wants everything in shipshape and efficient before he leaves. Besides, there's this test.
Why does this and that, Miss Brill?
I'm sure she's a fine teacher, dear. I'll tell her you're here.
What's up?
What's going on?
Larry asked me to a dance. He's coming right back for me.
Are you crazy? It's a school night. You don't have Dad's permission. What do you tell Dad?
I don't know. I better get the exam over with first. Is it tough?
Same old IQ stuff. It's a snap.
Especially for Miss IQ of Montclair High.
Wish it was something else.
You're stuck with it.
For once, your IQ can be put to some good use. I can't wait to see Miss Frill's face when she grades your paper.
I bet she's dying to bear down with that red pencil.
And even I didn't have that much trouble with the written part.
In the word association test, there's nothing to it.
She just shoots 5 words at you.
Swell. I'm in an awful rush.
Say, if we told you the 5 words, you'd be really bored on her when she asks.
Well, don't.
Golly, her mouth would just drop wide open.
I better get in there.
If she could shoot a word at you, and you could shoot a bunch of words back, a whole stream of associated words.
Of course, it wouldn't be right if we told Anne the words on the test.
So it wouldn't, and I'd better get a move on.
It would be wrong to tell her that the first word is nice.
Don't.
Or that the second word is blind.
But here, Bird, you shouldn't have told me.
No, you certainly shouldn't have told her that the first 5 words are knife, knife, with her bird! You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Gee, we're sorry. Just try to put them out of your mind and forget that the 5 words are knife, black, foot, hair, bird.
Put them out of my mind. After the way I've been drumming them in, and I'm already thinking of the answers. How would you do a thing like that?
Are you ever going to get down to business?
Right now.
I thought your mother told you to see to the babies.
We were seeing them.
Before the motorcycle passed by the house.
I think motorcycles are wonderful. You can make a lot of noise with a motorcycle.
Anne's just breezing through the test.
About time she did some breezing.
I think she has a crush on one of the boys at school.
Boss, here's some of the charts that I've written here. Rotations of duties and assignments, records of results. I want all of this functioning before I leave.
I wish you wouldn't go. Dr. Burton says.
Dr. Burton, we had better focus on some way to knock a little sense into our younger daughters.
They're perfectly normal. At least they want to be.
You want to be wasting a lot of time, and time is too precious.
Is it really so important that you go to this management conference?
A conference like this gives me an opportunity to explain motion study to the world, and the world could stand a little more efficiency. Plus, it can be very good for business. It costs quite a bit to run a family like this.
Remember when we first talked about the family we'd have, our wedding day? You said we would have a wonderful life and a wonderful family. A great, big family.
Children from the basement to the attic, was it? From the floorboards to the chandelier.
And when we went walking on a Sunday afternoon, we would look like Mr. and Mrs. Pied Piper.
Well, Mrs. Piper meet Mr. Piper. Mr. Piper meet Mrs. Piper.
You said we would have a wonderful life and a wonderful family.
That day that we got on the train, you tried to appear so blasé as though we'd been married for years.
And when I took off my hat, you gave that loud whisper, "Good Lord, woman, why didn't you tell me your hair was that color?" Everyone turned to leer and wink.
Well, I shouldn't have done that, but it was just I was so proud of you. I wanted everyone to look at you and know that you were my wife. And I think the work charts and the assignments are working out great. It's getting so the family runs itself.
You've thought of most everything, Mr. Piper.
Thank you, Mrs. Piper. What did I tell you? I said that Anne would be back.
I don't believe she's taking this test very seriously. She just keeps marking answers down the page as fast as she can go.
She said something about being in a hurry.
Maybe she has something more important.
What is it?
You're not supposed to leave the table until you're finished.
I am finished.
But that's impossible.
It's finished.
You've marked all the answers to the best of your ability?
Honestly, Dad, was a snap.
A snap! We'll see how much of a snap it is.
You bet we will.
We'll see just how much of a... Oh,
Wait, what is it? What's the matter?
there's nothing the matter.
You haven't found any wrong answers?
Not yet.
Just keep marking.
I will.
Yet?
No, not yet.
Just keep on marking. Yet?
I can't properly mark a
Yes,
paper under
right.
conditions
Yes?
No,